Okay, can everyone see the screen?
Let's see. Yep, I can see it.
Perfect. And what about everybody else? Can everyone else see the
Head
screen?
nods, thumbs up. Cool. All right. So we'll go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you so much for being here. I know everybody's time is valuable, and we are so thrilled that you chose to spend this, 45 minutes with us. We're so excited to have you. So thanks for coming. I'm going to get more into my introduction in a second, but my name's Erin, if you don't know me already. We are bringing you this awesome webinar with Briana today, Visioneering, Discovering Your Values to Live Your Vision Now, and brought to you by my company, Hello Rising Tide. If you want to go to the next slide, Briana.
Yep.
So Hello Rising Tide, quick introduction. I'm the founder and web designer at Hello Rising Tide. We are a creative collective that serves women entrepreneurs who want to create an impact by sharing their unique gifts with the world. And just a quick overview of sort of a few ways that we do that. Obviously, web design and development, branding and graphic design, SEO, videography, and more services that help support these businesses we work with. I'm coming to you from Salida, Colorado. So I live in the mountains of Colorado in a small town called Salida. That was part of my vision about 2 years ago. So happy to be living that. And of course, we have Briana here today. She is a Soulful Success Coach, teaching ambitious women to heal their mind, body, and business. Briana is coming to us from San Diego, California. And a little background about us. We actually have been friends for over 10 years. We went to grad school together in San Diego. We sort of did that corporate life together for a while. And now we're seeing each other sort of walking side by side down this awesome journey of owning our own businesses. So today we wanted to collaborate because, one of the values of my business and my brand is it's not just about creating websites or brands. It's really about living your vision and how your business supports that. So we focus on that with our clients. We want to know how their bigger vision and freedom of lifestyle fits into that. So obviously visioning is part of that. And I know that Briana and I have done a lot of that as well ourselves. So we kind of wanted to really bring that, to the forefront and allow other people to utilize these tools in their life, however that may look like, whether you're a business owner or you're just looking for a more concrete vision for your personal life. That's kind of what the purpose of today is. So with that, Briana, I'll let you take it from here.
Yay. Thank you, Erin.
You're welcome.
Beautiful. Well, again, welcome everybody. My name is Briana Wyatt. I'm a Soulful Success Coach, as Erin said, and I help ambitious women heal their mind, body, and business because, as we know, they're integrated. They're together. It's not a silo of one or the other. And so what we're going to go through today is really learning a skill set because, again, Erin mentioned, videography and SEO, and we are ambitious and we learn these new skills. And when we talk about healing mind, body, and business, there's skills that we can learn around that. So today will be interactive, insightful, and you'll have tools to take away and take this back to your business, your relationship, your projects, etc., and apply these skills, hopefully on a daily basis. So Erin alluded to this, but she and I got our MBA together, and we came from a corporate background. So a lot of ambitious, but burnout. And we were really pushing, and it didn't feel great. We weren't living that, what I call soulful success. So when you're not living soulful success, it can look like a feeling of scarcity, both time, money, support, love, creativity. You're feeling like there's not enough. You may be feeling uninspired or lack enthusiasm or passion, and just that general feeling that you are not enough. A couple more participants to add here. There we go. It also may bring up some feelings of resentment and anger because you're not living in your purpose, you're not living in your vision. Maybe the things you're doing on a daily basis leave you exhausted because they're taking away your energy and not refilling your cup. And when we're not living connected, we can feel anxious and indecisive, or at least it seems indecisive because maybe we really know what the answer is and we keep questioning ourselves, or we don't have that confidence to step forward and live in that decision. So through many years of trial and error, of tears and burnout, of working with coaches and reading hundreds of books and going to webinars and seminars, I have found a new path for me. I call it the cycle of soulful success. And it has helped me to heal from a chronic illness, create a loving marriage with 2 healthy children, run a business that is expanding and thriving that I love. I'm publishing my first yoga children's book in June, and the list goes on. So going from a place of scarcity and burnout and looking for that that outside validation for inward peace, long gone are those days. Not that things don't still come up for me and for others, but I now use this cycle of soulful success to really build my life and make my choices and live in my vision. So very straightforward, the cycle of soulful success is connection, clarity, and inspired action. So what does that mean? Well, with connection, we find mind, body, spirit connection. And there's a few ways that we do that, and we're going to actually be implementing some of that today. So connection, we connect to intuition. We find we have an increased creativity because of that intuitive connection. We boost our healing because we are aware of the needs of our body. It helps us to reduce our anxiety, anticipate our needs, boost self-awareness, and really boost confidence because we have a connection and inner knowing. So secondly, from connection, this mind, body, spirit connection, we move to a place of clarity. And here in clarity, we are able to discover or rediscover our desires, needs, and values. Having that clarity helps us to overcome limiting beliefs, shift our mindset, create focus, and in creating that focus, we really reduce our stress and our overwhelm. Because instead of pleasing others, not knowing what we want, doing all the things, we come from a place of knowing, we have that clarity and confidence, and we're able to act in a focused, aligned manner, which leads us to our next point, which is inspired action. So action versus inspired action is that with inspired action, we act in alignment. We've done the work, we've connected, we have the clarity, and so now when we act, it's meaningful, it's purposeful, it's aligned. And when we do that, we start to see that we manifest abundance. We are in that flow state, and we all know what that feels like. We've all been there when there's just ease and grace in our life. And we can recreate that. That isn't something where it's like, gosh, I don't know why it was going so well at this point. There's a reason it was going well, and you can actually recreate that in your daily life to continue to live in the flow in your business, your relationships, your health, etc. So again, when we act from that place of alignment, we're reducing our overwhelm and we're creating these new and healthy habits. And we all know about creating healthy habits, right? Both in brain and in habit. But this cycle of soulful success gets to continue, expand as we meet new challenges and have new decisions. I think that Erin's a great example of living her values, and we've been working with each other, supporting each other in a friendship now for over a decade. And if Erin would have been very specific in what she wanted, if she would have been action-oriented in a goal, boom, this is it, then she never would have been able to live this course that she lived, going to Australia and then Denver and now Salida. But because freedom, nature, experience, service are these underlying values that she's been able to maintain aligned with, the vision, the values of the vision have remained. But what that looks like has changed. And that's that importance of being able to live our vision now, because whatever material cannot bring what we don't already have. And that doesn't mean you can't have the goal of publishing a book or having a relationship or moving somewhere. It doesn't mean that those goals can't exist. But when you're attached to that outcome and you don't understand the underlying values, then often your happiness, your peace, your contentment is in this future time. But when you understand the underlying values of your vision, you're able to activate those feelings in the present and live in that vibration now and really live your vision now. Not only that, but instead of having this narrow concept of what could happen, you are opening it up to the support of the universe. So one saying that I really love is ask specifically, receive universally. So when we understand our values and we ask specifically to receive that value in our life, maybe abundance, connection, love, creativity, when we ask specifically, that has so much strength. But when we open ourselves up to receive universally, then amazing things beyond our imagination can happen. Because instead of saying, this is what needs to happen to live my vision, we start with a feeling. And then we're living our vision every day. So that being said, we know the connection, clarity, inspired action is that cycle of soulful success. But it's really important to me when I share information with people, knowing that transformation is not in the information, it's in the implementation. So today we are going to really implement this, and we're going to implement it as it applies to our vision. So for our connection, we'll be doing a brief 5 or 10 minute meditation. Let's check the time. Yeah, about probably 10, 15 minute meditation, which will really give us that sense of connection. From there, we'll begin to create more clarity with our visioneering and visionary vibration. And then our inspired action will really look to understand those values. And I'd like you to start to write down, commit, and hold yourself accountable to what inspired action you can take, where you can really live that vision by putting your values in action. So, sound good? Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can, there we go. I couldn't see anyone's face, so I felt like I was talking to my screen. I changed it. Now I can see people's faces, which makes me feel much better. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so this is, does everyone have a notebook with them, a pen and paper? Awesome, awesome. So we're actually going to do our meditation before we move into this visioneering piece, but I just wanted to make sure, because I'd love it to be a smooth kind of transition from this meditative state into our first reflective or our first prompt. So I'll go ahead and read it out loud, but you have it in front of you. Once we complete our meditation, I invite you to write in specific detail about a day in your life when you're living your vision. What do you see, smell, feel, hear, and taste? What are you wearing? Where are you living, and with whom are you spending time? So again, you don't have to think about that right now, but we are going to reflect on that in a few minutes. So for our meditation, go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable seated position. You can begin to roll your shoulders down and away from your ears. With your eyes gently closed, begin to connect to your breath. Connecting to your breath, you begin to bring your consciousness to your heart center. With your eyes closed, you allow any thoughts to float by. The thoughts may come and the thoughts may go. Your goal is not to shut out all these stray thoughts, but instead observe, acknowledge, and then invite them to be on their way. No need to judge or analyze. As we continue to connect with our breath, we become fully present in this moment. We feel Mother Earth supporting us. And with each breath, we feel that life force pulsing through us, acknowledging that our body is a temple of the spirit and that we are one with the universal divine. As we continue to move through our meditation today, I encourage you to take cues from your own body. Although I'm here to guide you to a place of stillness and connectedness, you know what your body needs and what feels right for you. We'll be doing a very simple exercise and repeating a mantra to help us tune into the divine creative. But if at any point anything that I suggest does not feel right for you, please know that you are the leader of your body, that you decide what your meditation practice looks like. We'll begin with a 3-part breath, inhaling into our belly, side ribs, and chest. Exhaling, releasing through our chest, side ribs, and belly. Letting each inhale be an expansion, and each exhale a release, a surrender, a letting go. Each inhale is an opportunity for renewed energy, inviting in a fresh wave of breath. And each exhale, a release, letting go of anything that's not serving us. As we continue through our meditation, you'll continue inhaling belly, side ribs, chest, and exhaling chest, side ribs, belly. Our mantra today, we'll repeat silently to ourselves, Aham Brahmasmi. Inhaling Aham and exhaling Brahmasmi. This mantra connects us to the co-creation of life, to the divine and the source. With each breath, we acknowledge, I am the co-creator of miracles. With each breath, I connect to divine and welcome her guidance. Aham Brahmasmi. Connected to our breath, we live in the miracle of the present moment, knowing that here in this moment, everything is possible. On an inhale, I invite you to bring your palms to your heart, one hand on top of the other. On an exhale, let your chin fall gently towards your chest, bowing into your heart center. Aham Brahmasmi. Here we're connected to the heart. And in this space, we can feel the infinite possibilities. Aham Brahmasmi. Connecting to these feelings, we notice it in our body. Love, light, warmth, peace, wisdom, ease. Even if you can't name it, I encourage you to feel it. Being with the feeling. Aham Brahmasmi. Here in this space, connected to the feeling of infinite possibility, we let go of our to-do list. We open ourselves up to inspiration, flow, and aligned action. Connected here in this moment. We acknowledge that we live in a world of miracles. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the co-creator of miracles. I invite you to begin releasing your 3-part breath. Begin releasing your mantra. And on an exhale, let your palms fall gently in your lap. Palms reaching towards the sky in a mudra of receiving. Taking note of that feeling you're holding in your heart. That deepest sensation. Knowing that you have access. Every minute of every day, you have access to these feelings, to this connectedness, to living in the present moment full of possibility. We'll end this meditation with one ring of the singing bell. Slowly and gently, at your own pace, you can begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your shoulders down and away from your ears. And when it feels right, you can begin to flutter your eyes open. I encourage you here in this quiet, reflective state to grab your pen and your journal, and we'll just spend the next 2 minutes writing and reflecting about our vision. And this prompt here about writing in specific detail a day in your life where you're living that vision, that's just a guidance. If you want to write about what came up for you during this meditation, you're welcome to share that. But the idea is that we've taken time to connect, and now we're really continuing to create clarity in our lives. And writing is a beautiful way of maintaining and creating that clarity. So let's spend just a couple of minutes writing, and then I'd like to call on a couple of you or encourage some of you to share. So, of course, what we're doing today is just a peek at the bigger program, the bigger picture. Usually when I work with my clients, it's through 9 modules over 3 months, and we go into much greater detail on overcoming limiting beliefs and shifting mindset. But I will be sending this replay out to all of you, so you'll have a chance to go back and to continue to practice the things that we are learning today. And of course, I encourage you to come back and write as you expand your vision. But we're going to move on for today. So I'd love, does anyone want to share what either came up for them during that meditation, or what is maybe spilling out onto paper as they tap into their vision? Okay, no problem. No one ever has to share. It's a sacred, safe space. So great. And you can always message me afterwards. A lot of times people want to share, but they don't necessarily want to share with everyone, which is totally fine. So you can always send me a quick message if you want to share one-on-one.
Yeah, Briana.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Amber.
I'll share. I just don't want to be first, but I just think that here in the present moment, everything is possible. Here in the present moment, everything is possible. And like, how do you shut off that? You can't do that. That's never going to happen. Why don't you count your blessings? You have so much already.
Sure.
But we want more.
Sure.
And then there's like this conflict of like, but we have it all. Like, I feel like I have it all. Like, I look around and I do not have any room to feel like it's not enough, but there is more. I want more.
Yeah.
I do. And so, and maybe it's just vibrationally, I don't want to work harder for sure.
And you don't have to. You don't have to work harder.
Here in the present moment, everything is possible. It's like, oh, good. It takes away all that like static of like, what's wrong? Like all these messages from previous incarnations of myself, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you for sharing. And know that you are not alone. That especially in the presence of who you're with now, ambitious women who want soulful success, who are wanting to live that, because we're ambitious. It's not that we don't want, to build and success and material, but we're very mindful and soulful, and there has to be balance. And there can be an ongoing tension of, but I'm so happy and I'm so grateful. So why am I being selfish when I'm asking for more? And it's a continual practice, and you're not alone in that. But we get to keep expanding. And the first thing I thought of when you shared that is a parable that I had heard of God didn't make one tree and say, oh, that's enough trees. Now that's enough. Will you have a tree? No, he built forest upon forest upon forest. And God loved that tree. And yet he's covered the universe and expanded, because there is no scarcity in divine. And so you can be here in this moment, fully in love with what you have, and still know that there's more to be created, that there's more to come, that this is your sapling, your tree, but you get to create the Amazon. And that brings me peace. It's not, when we seek to expand, it is not selfish. It is the divine path. It has been this seed in our heart, and we've been given these tools, and it really is part of the divine plan. Does that resound? Does that?
Love that. Create the Amazon. It's okay.
Yeah, create it. Put it out like that's, you're serving the world.
Yeah, and it's not like you don't have to choose from one to the other and give up anything.
No.
For something that is unknown. It's like, no, just make more trees. It's okay.
Yeah. Right. Because again, you're coming from a place of wonderful intention, and you're not taking from someone else. You're creating more, right? Yeah. And I think another parable that falls in line with that is sometimes we think it's a pie, and I don't want a bigger slice of the pie because I'm taking someone else's slice. But there's an author that I heard this from, and I think it's Derek Rydell. I don't know if I think I heard it from Derek Rydell. And that is, instead of thinking of it as a pie, think of it as a radio station, right? There's emitting this signal of creativity and abundance and love and everything that you ever want. There's a signal going out, and we all have a radio. And just because mine is blasted, you get to blast yours, and you get to blast yours, and you get to blast yours. So we get to live in this place of love and abundance and divine creativity, and we all get to blast it. It's all of us. It's not, oh, well, I better keep mine hushed, or I better live dim and quiet. Not at all. You get to live bright and vibrant, and as we all do. Thank you, Amber. Thank you for sharing. I love, again, no one has to share, but it definitely feels meaningful, because I promise you that if something's on your heart, it's most likely on someone else's heart. So we have our vision. Now we've connected, we have more clarity around that vision, but we're going to go a little deeper in our vision. And I challenge you to think about how you feel when you're living that vision. And I mentioned it at the beginning, but it's really important that we start with the feeling, right? Because we can create that feeling now. That if we're looking for love, we don't need to be in a marriage or a relationship, or it could look like that, but it could mean a dog. It could mean a new friend. It could mean so many things. So we want to look at that vision, but we want to come into that feeling, because we want to start with the feeling, knowing that when we ask specifically but receive universally, that we will be given that we'll be fully supported in that which we ask for. So how do you feel when you're living your vision? And this is going to move into and help us with our next section, which is values. So feeling and values for me tend to overlap. Love, inspiration, creativity, light, joy, impactful. Again, however you describe it. But I invite you to just spend another 30 seconds about how you feel when you are living your vision. And then, of course, if anyone wants to share.
Very simple, happy and grateful.
Okay, happy, grateful, and what was the first one, Isabel?
Happy and grateful, and with
happy
and harmony.
And harmony. I love that. Happy. I'm going to write that down. Happy, grateful, and harmony. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I love it. I have, I think in our next slide, I have the values list. So I'm going to pull the next one up. Yeah. So this feeling usually is reflective of our values. And these are just a few values. I literally have a sheet back and forth of values. And these are still just a couple hundred values. And all of ours are different, right? What came up for you is different than what came up for me or the next person. But if it helps, you can look at this list here and see if any of these feelings or values speak to you.
Most of them.
So when I started doing my value work, and again, I've read books, worked with coaches. I think my mentor actually is on this call today. Shout out to Joyce. And it just really opens your eyes to how you can bring your vision into your daily life. So does everybody have a couple of feelings that came up for them? Perfect, perfect. So then from those feelings, and the feeling can be the same, but the next thing I'd like is for you to identify some values. And if the feeling is the same as the value, that's just fine. But the next thing we're going to do is really identifying those values. So for me, some of my main values are inspiration, vibrancy, beauty, radiance, and love. Those come up for me again and again, along with joy and purpose. And I mean, it goes, all right, we have a lot of values, but those are really at my core. And so a few years ago, when I have 2 children now, I just had my daughter, and mothering was pretty challenging, going from being full professional to motherhood and trying to balance. And so sometimes our vision can be either one, overwhelming, or it can seem out of our reach. But when we know what our values are, we get to bring that into our daily life. And so one of the dreams that I had, since I can remember, is writing a book. And so knowing that artistic, that creativity, right? Because writing the book was the goal. So every year that passed, if I would have looked at my goal of publishing a book, I would have failed. Oh, I didn't do it. Oh, I didn't do it. Oh, I didn't do it. But when you look at my core value of inspiration and artistic, then being able to write every day, I'm living in my visionary vibration. I'm doing it. I'm acting, I'm creating that feeling. I'm living in the visionary vibration. And now in June, I'm publishing a book, but I've been living my vision for years, for the last 5 years, because I've been able to pull activities into my daily life that support that larger vision. And I couldn't have planned it 5 years ago what that book was. That wasn't the book I was going to write. And so being able to know my values, to act in alignment with those values, opened up the universe and opened me up to receive something that was beyond what I could even comprehend. That's one personal example. Another example is a few years ago, we were wanting to buy a new house, but we live in Southern California and I was working part-time and just this is right, circumstance. But when I thought about what a home would bring, and I realized, oh, okay, well, what do I have now? Community, family, nature. How can I bring that into my life now? Then, although it was an amazing blessing to move to this new home in this beautiful neighborhood surrounded by nature, I had been living those values on a daily basis. And maybe I said this at the beginning of the call, but material will never bring you what you don't already have. So no goal is going to fill you the way those values can fill you on a daily basis. So whatever accomplishment that's on your mind, that doesn't mean that accomplishment isn't important and that it can't exist both in relationships, in business, in personal lifestyle, what have you. But we've all probably had that feeling where we reach a goal and then there's that anticlimactic feeling, because if we put too much into reaching this goal, but we haven't really started with the feeling and the basis of that, then the goal can feel really empty, which is why it's so important to know that foundation of your values and be able to live that on a daily basis, because then those goals we reach, those big goals, they're icing on the cake. And it doesn't necessarily change who we are because we've always been living in that visionary vibration. Does that resonate with everyone? And really, okay, beautiful. So you've had a chance to look at this very brief value list, and you can Google values. If you want to look up, if you're not sure and you're like, I want to pull from a list, there's hundreds of lists of values. So you can continue to do this again and again. So the final question then is, what does your vision and visionary vibration reflect about your values? And can you list 3 of those top values? So we've been alluded to that as we talked about feelings. Does anyone want to share what values came up for them? Make sure I can see everybody, because if I can't, I don't want to. Okay. Perfect. So when you have these values, and I've given a couple examples of bringing them into your daily life, but this final challenge I have for you is, in what ways can you activate those feelings and values now? So again, Erin, as an example, freedom being a value, and pulling that into her daily life, knowing that she still had goals and vision greater, but being able to let it look exactly how it did in her circumstances. So traveling, going to Australia, even living in Denver, planning, but living that sense of freedom in the here and now as your vision expands and changes. Because that's another thing too, is that our goals will often change, but our values tend to remain the same. Again, connectedness or learning, etc. So knowing that foundation of values allows us to always be living our values, even if the goal or the circumstances change. Another example is, someone that had that wanted to start a business and do agricultural tourism. But if you look at buying land and you look at setting this up and getting in, and you think, oh my gosh, that's a 10-year plan. Well, how could you bring that into your daily life? Well, if you look at that vision and you say, oh, what I want is nature, connectedness, service, community, then you can do things now, like join a community garden, or come up with new farm to table dishes and serve them to your friends and family. And it seems simple, but when we have this grandiose vision, there are ways to bring that into our daily life. Travel, for instance, people talk about, oh, travel, I love travel, I love travel. Well, especially now, travel's not an option. So what do you love about travel? Is it the photography? Is it the food? Is it the language? Is it the dancing? Well, guess what? Pick a new station on Pandora. I've been playing flamenco like crazy. And you can bring these things into your daily life, right? If it's the photography piece, get out your iPhone, go for a nature walk, subscribe to National Geographic. There's so many ways that time and space and money do not limit us. And so again, we're almost at our time today, but I encourage you now, you have these tools to think about the vision, understand the values that are the foundation of that, and get creative about how you can activate that in your daily life. If your goal, your vision is writing a book and your value is creativity, how can you get creative today? Whether that's, writing, painting, illustration. I mean, there are infinite possibilities here in the present moment, and you are the co-creator of miracles, and you have complete access to all of your dreams and visions. So does anyone want to share or have a question or want to be in a love seat, maybe want some ideas on how to bring values into their daily life? Does anyone want to question, share anything? Perfect. Well, that being said then, you've done it. You have practiced the cycle of soulful success. We did our meditation and really did that mind, body, spirit connection. We found clarity and helped discover our vision and our values. And now it's up to you to take inspired action. Now it's up to you to commit to one thing today. And I would love to hear from you. Accountability is a huge piece of being in the cycle of soulful success. So I would encourage you, shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you. And as an added support and tool, I will be sending out, for those of you who haven't done it already, because I know if you have, I'll be gifting my 7-day meditation. And this really will help you move. You'll have a mantra, breathing exercise, a meditation, and some writing prompts to help practice and create a habit of the cycle of soulful success. And you can apply that to what we learned today. So look forward to that in your inbox. And for those of you who have already done the 7-day meditation challenge with me, I will send you the Cycle of Soulful Success workbook. So you still have a gift for your attendance today. But
thank you, Briana. That is so generous. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Amber. Absolutely. And again, here's my contact information. Please, I want it to be interactive. I want us to grow. I want us to support each other. It's a beautiful time to learn these skills and to think big and to live at a higher vibration, because as I say in my weekly meditation call, by living in this higher vibration, we really are healing the world and being thankful and grateful for the space that we're in, and knowing that by continuing to raise our own vibration and to live in our vision, we really become a bridge for others to do the same. So thank you so much. Erin, is there anything that you want to share or wrap up with before we end today?
No, I think that was so great. Thank you so much for, taking the time to do this. And I just love your passion when you're talking about this. I feel so stoked on life right now. So thank you. And thanks for everybody for attending. I'm so glad that we got to connect in this way. And thank
Beautiful.
you.
Thank you.
Well, ciao, Belas. Sending tons of love to all of you, and know that you will be hearing from us. Stay in touch.
Thank you.
Thank
Ciao.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great.
Yes.